I watched him grin from across the conference table, and at that instant, I knew I had already won. My wife's uncle, Richard, CEO, my boss for 7 years, the man who had hired me straight out of college, stood beside me at my wedding, and even called me son. The same man had just suspended me, without pay, for 2 weeks. My crime? I had scolded his 16-year-old nephew, my wife's cousin, for hacking into our company's internal systems during his internship. The boy had been boasting about it on Slack, sharing memes that contained confidential client data. I pulled him into my office, explained that his actions were unacceptable, and had him sign a formal write-up. Standard protocol. Company policy.
Part of my job.
Yet somehow, this had offended him, made him feel uncomfortable. His mother, my wife's aunt, called Richard in tears. Instead of supporting me, his director of IT security, Richard summoned me to his office. HR present. "You need to apologize," he said, leaning back in his leather chair. "He's family." "He violated federal data protection laws," I said calmly. "I followed procedure, documented everything." Richard's jaw clenched. 2 weeks unpaid. "And when you return, you apologize to him personally, in writing." That night, my wife texted me, "Just do it. It's not worth the fight. We need your job." I stared at her words for a long time.
We didn't need my job, she did.
She needed the salary to fund boutique shopping, spa weekends, and endless renovations on a house I never wanted. A house Richard had helped us acquire through his real estate connections. I had started noticing small things. The way her phone was always angled away, nights spent at her mother's, how Richard seemed to know about our arguments before I'd even processed them. I had married into a family, and somewhere along the way, I'd forgotten I was never truly part of it. That night, I didn't sleep. I made copies. Every document I'd signed, every email chain regarding the nephew, the company's database protocols I had authored, my non-compete clause, even a lawyer's memo I had discovered last year stating it wouldn't hold in court because Richard had never countersigned it. Before dawn, I cleared my desk, photos, certificates, the coffee mug my team had given me. I left the company laptop, phone, and access badge on the keyboard. My resignation letter was one line. Effective immediately, I resign. I posted it in the company Slack at 8:47 a.m., the exact moment my suspension was supposed to begin. Then I attached all the evidence. The nephew's violations, his write-up, Richard's suspension order, and a polite note explaining I could not work for an organization that valued nepotism over legal compliance. I tagged the entire company, including clients, and walked out. By the time I was in my car, my phone exploded, texts, calls, voicemails. I ignored them all until I saw Brian Carver, general counsel. "Tell me you didn't post that," he said, his voice shaking. "I did. Resignation and context," I replied. "Do you know what this means?" he asked, pausing to breathe. "We have audits coming, the SEC, the nephew issue. If this gets out..." "It already is out, Brian." Silence followed. "Richard wants to speak with you." I hung up. By noon, Richard called. I let it ring. He left a voicemail. His tone was tight, almost pleading. "We can fix this. Come back. Delete the post, please." I didn't delete a thing. By the end of the day, the board had launched an investigation. 3 clients put contracts under review. The nephew was quietly removed from the building. Richard called again. This time, I answered. "You've ruined me," he said. "No," I replied. "I resigned. You ruined yourself when you put a 16-year-old's ego above your company's integrity." He tried to speak, but I cut him off. "And Richard," I said, "I start at your competitor Monday. They've been trying to recruit me for 2 years. I just never had a reason to leave. Until now." I hung up before he could respond. 3 days later, my wife filed for divorce. Her family stopped speaking to me. I didn't care. The following week, I sat in my new office, coffee in hand, watching the sunrise over a city that suddenly felt immense. They thought I needed them. They thought I would bend. But I had spent 7 years building my reputation, my expertise, my network. They had nothing I couldn't replace. I had everything they couldn't. The moment Richard realized it, his smirk vanished. And I had never felt more alive.